All right, welcome back to another recording of Pencil Leadership. I'm your host, Chris Anderson. Guys, have another special guest. Truly do have some of the best guests coming on the show, sharing their expertise and their knowledge. Today's no different. We have Sieg coming on the show today. She's a marketing coach, an author, and an online business mentor. And on top of that, guys, she has built this e-commerce empire. So it started about 13 years ago when she decided to write her first ebook, where she made $4.2 million in sales from that book, and then decided to kind of go all in with e-commerce and went from $2K a month to $90K in 3 months. So she knows what she's doing when it comes to e-commerce and building that empire there. She's impacted hundreds of thousands of individuals through her coaching program. So we are super excited to have her on to share her expertise. And welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thrilled to be here, Chris.
Absolutely. Super excited for you just to dig into the topic of building an e-commerce empire. But first, I'd love if you would just share kind of what you're comfortable sharing about your journey, what's brought you to the success you've had now.
Actually, it goes back. I had my first store, if you will, believe it or not. I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I made some hand-knitted Christmas bells. And my mom said, you should go out in the neighborhood and sell those. So I had my first store, and it was a paper box. So my cost of my storefront was, it was free. And so I went out with my paper box, and I rang the doorbells, and I sold every one of them. And I even had a bundled offer, 3 for $1. And I came home having sold every single one of them.
Wow.
I can't say that launched my sales career, but I will never forget. I can visualize the whole thing, literally ringing the doorbells, showing my little wares. So I was doing commerce at a very young age, and that was cool. I didn't actually get into sales more officially until I was pregnant with my second child, and that was through direct sales. And so this goes back quite a while. There was no internet. There was no social media. It was the hard days of hitting the pavement. And anyway, so I did that. I did a lot of direct sales. And then I came online in 2004. And I was very eager to learn because what I was being taught was no longer working. And so rather than continuing to bang my head against the wall, I started to look for different solutions, and I found it online.
That's awesome. Wow. And it's taken off, which is amazing just to see the success you've had and the success you've been able to guide others to as well through your coaching. So, so with that, I mean, what got you, obviously as a young child, you were selling things, but was there anything else that like kind of pushed you into wanting to sell and the e-commerce and all that?
I'll tell you the mental makeup side of it. That was the precursor to even have the will to do it. Is that I was in sports. And so I just completely fell in love watching the Olympics. I want to be like Olga Korbut. I want to be like Nadia Comaneci. And so I had no business to even be in the sport because I was very weak, scrawny, underdeveloped, nothing favorable.
Gotcha.
So I just worked really hard, and I became very ultra disciplined. And I really attribute those years to setting the foundation for the mental makeup that I would need for anything subsequent that I wanted to learn. And especially when it came to business, because I kind of like a challenge, you know. And if you shirk from a challenge, well, the fact of the matter is in business, you're going to be challenged, like it or not. It is going to happen. It is a bumpy road. There are highs and lows. And there's something about that, I can figure this out. You know, this when you hit a bottleneck and you get intrigued and I can figure this out. So it's that whole, and my dad was a scientist, so maybe that's part of it. So mental discipline from sports, and I did coach for 15 years and I loved it.
Wow.
Loved it. But with sales, I just think it's really, I don't want to make it the whole thing about the thrill of the chase, but it's really fun to sell. I like it both in the marketing and I like it in the actual transactional. Now, I do mostly marketing. I'm not in marketing. Sales are joined at the hip. And so I have both of those departments under me, and I'm the CMO, I'm the Chief Marketing Officer. And so I can make it all seamless. These two departments don't fight against each other. They work in tandem. But I think I enjoy the marketing more than I do the actual be on the phone with sales. I like the thrill of setting up the pipeline and the sales funnel I want it to be as easy as possible.
Yeah.
When it comes to the phone, that I've already gotten that person to an 80-90% close through the marketing.
Mm-hmm. That's a huge thing, I think, because and myself included, when I started, it was, well, let's just push for the sale, and not, the pipeline, the funnel, not guiding people down that first. So is that kind of, I don't know if I want to use these words, but like the secret sauce into creating this e-commerce empire is that marketing? Is that funnel pre-sale system?
Well, I have to make a distinction here.
Yeah.
There's e-commerce, the selling of physical goods.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the marketing that it takes to do that. So I've done the gamut of digital marketing.
Okay.
And then what I've been doing for 15 years is I have been teaching and mentoring people how to do what I do.
Okay.
So initially, my first 7 years was teaching people how to do sales funnels like I've done, which is how to attract customers to come into your pipeline, and through those marketing pieces, convert them into a sale.
Okay.
Through email campaigns, webinars, etc. I shifted into what the more commonly recognized e-commerce space 7 years ago, being primarily Amazon.
Okay.
Shopify, all that. 7 years ago. So I had a training company previous that was all about teaching how to do sales funnels online.
Gotcha.
Then I shifted into e-commerce, and I'll tell you why I made that shift.
Yeah.
Well, there are a whole number of reasons. The one main reason is it is far easier for people to tap into an existing marketing funnel, such as Amazon, than it is to create your own, like 1,000% easier.
Yeah.
Like 8,000%, because it is very high level, master's degree level kind of stuff to create funnels that convert for digital marketing. Yeah. So I still do that because I market my training company, which is e-commerce business school. So that's my main job, is I'm marketing the school, e-commerce business school. But my students, they are leveraging a ready-made funnel.
Gotcha.
With customers, with their credit cards in the system, and they just have to put the right products in there that are profitable, that sell quickly. And there's a lot to that.
Yeah.
So that's what we teach inside the school.
Okay.
Is how do you source products? How do you know if they're the right products? That's the first thing people ask. Well, how do I know it's going to be a product that will sell?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you said that. That's my first question. I was like, how do you figure that out? That's got to be a lot to it.
There's a lot to it. It is a science. Do you want me to dig into that?
I would love to.
Okay.
I would love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically in business, and then especially in this world of e-commerce, it's who has the right data and who knows how to best interpret the data. Because data is all over the place, and it takes effort to get that data. But which data do I need to make smart decisions for myself as an e-commerce seller? So I'm going to go with the easiest method that we teach, and it's the fastest, it's the most reliable, it's the most predictable. And it basically, as I described this, if people want to visually picture a pool when you're growing up, and there was a wading pool where it started low, and then it just got way into the deep where they had the diving board, right?
Right. Yep.
So it's important that people understand there's like this continuum where you can start easy, or you might inadvertently, you might have jumped straight into the deep end. And you're wondering why you're not succeeding. And that is because there's more risk, there's more variables to go wrong. If you jump into the deep end of the pool with, say, Shopify, which a lot of people teach front end. Oh, hey man, do Shopify. Come on, it's wonderful over here. Well, get ready to learn advertising. You better understand conversion rates. You better be using Facebook, etc. It's a long list of skills.
Right.
That's the deep end of the pool, and a lot can go wrong. A lot of things can go wrong. Okay. And then you go over here, you swing over to the other side in the wading pool. We're going to talk about a model called arbitrage.
Okay.
And arbitrage just means buying low and selling high. So, for example, anyone could use their smartphone and download an app created by Amazon called the Seller app.
Okay.
It is Amazon's. They created it for us. And then once you have that app on your phone, and you do need your Seller Central account set up, meaning your store, then it allows you to scan products with your phone, and you're going to scan the UPC code. So here's this off of Amazon. Actually, it's a very popular product. And so you would scan it. And what happens within a microsecond is it's going to reveal on your phone all the data points that are important for you as a seller to know, can I buy this low enough to make money and sell it on Amazon? Including how fast is it selling? Of course, you need to know the Amazon sales, their fees as an FBA seller. I can get into that. And how much competition? Are there 100 sellers?
Gotcha.
You don't want to buy it. 2 sellers, you'll be fine. And then, of course, profit being the most important.
Yeah.
And so people can make a very, very nice income doing just that method I described. Enough that we've had people buy new homes, jobs, buy cars, just that single method where you go to Walmart, you go to Walgreens, and you're scanning products.
And you buy them at those stores and then resell them?
Yep, exactly. That's exactly it. Now, there's a method a step up from that called online arbitrage, so that you're not using this now, though you could, because you could go to those websites and just scan the UPC code right off the website. Yep. And so we have a formula, a spreadsheet where there's certain data points that you need. You plug those in, and then over on the right side, it's going to show in these 3 columns. Red means, no, skip this product. Yellow, you're right on the fence there. Green, and meaning your profit, your return on investment. So you know this data before you buy, right?
Yep.
And so you're really being more of an investor. You're choosing to put money into a little product.
Yeah.
Say, hey, look, I want you to do some work for me with my dollar.
Yeah.
I want you to make my dollar grow. Could you do that for me? Well, that's up to you as you do this. Now, the beautiful thing about that is what we've created can be offset to people that you hire overseas. So you're not sitting there plunking along in a spreadsheet all day long with your eyes getting all red and you're zoning out in your brain. Instead, you hire someone, and that cost is factored in so that you still know if you're profitable or not.
Wow.
And so that's called online arbitrage. And so that's the short end of the pool, or start easy. Yeah. And what happens now that's so critical about what we do different here is we now, after having worked 7 years with about 8,000 students, we have identified the biggest point of failure for people to scale and grow their business. And the number one point of failure is they don't stay consistent and they don't offset their work quickly enough to allow them to scale. If they keep hanging on to everything, that's trading hours for dollars, and you can only trade so many hours for dollars. But if you start to build a team and you have systems in place, they can run that with or without you. And that's what we teach in a 90-day sprint.
Wow.
That you have a VA set up, you're into profitability, you have a team, just starting small. After that, you continue to grow as you scale. So what we're doing differently now is approaching the bigger picture of how you are going to build your business by design from day one, that you're going to offset the work to somebody else. So now you become a true B quadrant, like Robert Kiyosaki talked about. Instead of sitting over there in the S quadrant, which is glorified job. Hello. Solopreneur, glorified job. Meaning your business doesn't work unless you're working in it. That's the S quadrant that he talks about in the cash flow quadrant. So we, on day one, we tell them, this is where we're going to take you. You're going to have to do the work. And then we start them with this easy method, and then they can expand from there.
Gotcha. Wow. This is fantastic. It's just learning so much about that and how, like, really, and I don't want to put it off, but like simple it can be starting, obviously with the right assistance and guidance. That's crazy. So you can just scan the UPC code and get all the information. That's cool.
It is very cool.
I geek out about that's so neat. because I'll do like flipping things on the side as well. So whether it be like Facebook Marketplace and you buy it and I sell it high or something like that. And so that's really neat to know. So with that, and I don't know, can you do singular items? Is that worth it, or do you want to buy quantity?
Okay, great question.
Yeah.
With arbitrage, you're going more wide.
Okay.
And deep.
Yeah.
When you do wholesale, you're going deep. Okay, I found my widget. I'm selling 10 or 12 a day. Okay, you're going to start ordering, cases of it. With arbitrage, it's more wide. However, I mean, you go deep when you can and when you're comfortable with it. So I've had some swim gadget stuff. One was this little sun thing that you put a little baby in where they've got this like inner tube around them, and then there's a sun thing to protect them from the sun. Yeah. Yep. I sold a ton of those. They're selling, and so it's like back to the store I go. I grab everyone off the shelf. I had these dye sticks. I bought like 120 of them. They sold like liquid gold. I mean, they're just, you get them in, they're gone.
That's crazy.
But then you can run out because at that time they were on clearance. It was with Target and they were on clearance. So you could look and go, well, maybe I go wholesale. I found out these are selling really hot. Well, it turned out the wholesale price wasn't even as good as the clearance at Target. But so the point being with arbitrage is you have to keep arbitraging, so to speak.
Yeah. But
here's where the beautiful part comes in. There is a product line or makeup that is called replenishable. Toothpaste. We don't buy one toothpaste. Oh no, all year long we're buying toothpaste. Food items that are replenishable, like cocoa, for example. So when you hit upon an arbitrage that is a replenishable, now you've hit more of a continuous gold mine.
Yeah.
So you just keep going back. Now, what people do is they build what are called business friendships. They get to know the store owner. And before you know it, Tuesday mornings the shipments come in. Yeah, a little bit early, so make sure you're there. We've had our members develop these kind of relationships because that store manager is charged with turn rate. Just get these products turned. And along comes Mrs. Arbitrage, and they're like, oh, yeah, we're moving products here.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's really neat. So with that, Amazon obviously is the big one that you would suggest people start with as far as ease and simplicity getting into it.
Well, and volume is the main reason.
And volume, okay.
Because it's such a massive marketplace, and they've got it so dialed in because they started fulfillment by Amazon. I've lost track. I think it's 10, 12 years at least. Meaning, so fulfillment by Amazon is when you ship to the Amazon warehouse. And they ship it to the customer. Merchant fulfilled is when you sell it and you have to ship it to the customer, which is not as scalable. And you're having to have all this stockpile of stuff. So FBA is actually a favored status as well because you're more likely to show up in the buy box as a seller when you're selling it at FBA status.
Right. So how do you get that at the Amazon locations for them to send out, or am I not following that right?
No, you got it right. So they have so many warehouses, and this comes up in every webinar I have. They'll say, oh, I have one right down the street. Oh, I can just drop it over there, can I? No, it's all through the Amazon algorithms of all this amazing complexity of, well, the demand for that swimmer, that's actually for the warehouse in Kentucky. And so they know where it gets shipped. It's based on the market demand for wherever in the US.
Wow.
So you don't have the choice of the convenience of that. I do want to say too, just to back up about the whole scaling part is, when we do online arbitrage, literally every component of that system can be done by someone else, including the shipping, including someone managing your Amazon account, including people looking for the sourcing products. We have a gentleman we just interviewed. He's got a team of about 5. And now he's just up here kind of overseeing the business and now going, and now I want to go for that hill. I'm going to go for that next. Well, these people are doing his cash flow business for him. And he's been doing 25K a month pretty much. So,
wow.
he'll hit 200 this year. And this is starting in about March, where he really started taking off. And so that can just keep going like clockwork. The little cash machine of people get between 30 and 50% profit.
Okay.
So you get your little money machine going, and it frees up your time to do whatever you think you want to do next.
Yeah.
Continue to grow your Amazon business, which is most typical. Or, gosh, I think I want to start doing real estate investments.
Right.
Whatever you want to do.
Huh. Wow. That's pretty cool. So, and you said a 90-day sprint is what you guide people to get to that point?
90-day peak performance mentoring is the name of the program. I can't say that full-blown team of 5.
Right. Yeah.
One of our gals, she started on New Year's Eve day of just this past year. So by June, she had hit 20K in sales, and she had a team of 4 or 5 people.
That's awesome.
She's just a builder. Some people they're natural at building teams. I'm a team builder type.
Yeah.
Some it's going to take longer. That is the main skill set that you need, is being able to build a team and manage a team. And when you're good at that, you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere, because that team is a highly valuable asset. When you build that, someone would pay, wow, you did all that work there and you got that team cranking out 25 grand in sales a month? Shoot, man, and your cash flow is XYZ? I'll take that. Right?
Right. Man, that's awesome. That's so cool. So yeah, I'm just trying to, because this is fascinating to me. I think it's so neat how do you find smaller items do better, or do people do better with like the bigger high ticket items still?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Again, this would have to do with risk. So let's say, someone is more comfortable with products between $30 and $50 price point. Someone else has a bigger cash flow to work with, and they're starting in a refrigerator, let's just say, or a table. We've had people selling kitchen tables and sets and whatnot. So it's really because you're tying up capital with this model. This is not drop shipping. This is, you have capital invested into products. And by the way, Amazon does not like drop shipping. The only one model that is approved through that is the print on demand.
Oh, yeah.
Which is legitimate.
Yes.
We have our our master trainer. He has a print on demand, which is a beautiful model. Not as easy as the one I'm talking about here, though.
Okay.
So it really is a comfort level. And the other thing is, when it's bigger, your FBA fees are going to be higher because of weight and dimension.
Yep. Makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So you're probably more beneficial unless you have the investment up front, to do like smaller, medium type priced and size items. Okay. Now, is the investment, do the people coming into your program for that 90-day, do they have to have a certain amount to invest in the products? Like, do you suggest, like, I know with like for Facebook ads, a lot of people are like, oh, 1,000 months would be a good investment to start. Like when you get to be able to do that. So is that kind of the same thing here? Yeah.
And generally I do say, just get used to it. Get your feet wet. 300 to 500 is a good amount. When you're brand new to something and just throw in 1,000, it's been more rare, only in that, well, let me just see for myself if this works.
Yeah.
Because this whole proof of concept, which I tell them, I can show you all the proof of concept from here to the moon and back, but the real proof of concept is when you do it.
Yeah.
And you experience that first sale and you go, oh, wow, it really does work. You only feel like you can really say that when you own it.
Yeah.
So at that, typically it's around that amount. They may have a whole lot more to put in.
Right.
But they kind of want to go, well, let me just first see.
Yeah.
And I think that's wise. I think that's a smart thing to do. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I was just curious. Yeah. I didn't know what the investment rate for a good investment rate to start would be. So with like, obviously you have your programs. Where would you suggest people who are wanting to kind of dip their toe in the e-commerce, arbitrage type deal? Would it just be kind of researching more, learning more before they kind of take that step, or should they just kind of go to the program?
We have plenty of videos. People range tremendously. There could be someone right now listening who goes, oh man, I'm an 8 or a 10. Why? Because maybe they've been swimming in a sea of information prior. Gotcha. And then you have someone hearing it for the very first time. So the gamut is huge. So they can go to our page, and there's a lot of case studies. We also have our most popular video ever is called The 3 Pillars of E-commerce Success. I can even give a quick overview of that, but go to our homepage of ecommercebusinessschool.com. There's a blue button at the top right that says free training.
Okay.
And then they can click that and watch. It's about a 22-minute overview of this model.
Oh, wow. Cool. That's
awesome.
awesome.
And our YouTube channel is packed, absolutely packed with videos. So, it's some people they want to watch 30 videos first, and others, they're more at a level of, I'm looking, I'm ready. So yeah. And it is for our mentorship program. This is not just a training program. This is very, very high touch, one-on-one technical coaching, small group coaching during the week, 12 a month, our peak performance mentoring, 10-day accountability boot camp. It's very thorough. That I like to say, no one can come here and say they didn't get the help they needed. Impossible. Literally impossible.
Yeah.
So anyways, it is an application. And so they can go through the information and then fill out an application. But we have a lot of information. Our YouTube channel is really packed with it.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll have to. And what's the YouTube channel is?
Same. E-commerce business.
Okay, perfect. I figured that's what it was. And you mentioned the 3 pillars of e-commerce success. I would love to touch on that if you have time and you're willing to go through that. So that'd be awesome.
Yes, it is. Generate cash flow, jumpstart your business and keep it going. The next is to automate systems so you can free up your time and scale up your business. And the last one is build assets so you can pass on to your family or to investors for a profit. So cash flow, automate systems, build assets.
That's awesome. And that's, I love systems and automation, because it makes, if we, like you said, when we just hang on to everything, we want to keep control, like we can only do so much. Yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest things a lot of people have to learn is let go, build a team, automate so you can free up your time. Otherwise you are still in the S quadrant. And so that's beautiful.
And it's risky.
Yeah.
It's really risky.
Yeah.
I mean, here we are in COVID, and so we're talking to so many people, and everyone has had their life impacted in some way, shape, or form from COVID, whether they got it themselves or not. And it's like, it's risk mitigation if it is all on you and something happens.
Yeah.
Wow. And your family was relying on you as that solopreneur. And I know it is more work to build a team. Myself, I love having a team. I just really enjoy that relationship.
Yep.
But think about risk mitigation. And I'll tell you, for cost, it's about a 1/6 when you outsource to the Philippines. Yeah.
Wow.
Just saying.
Yeah, that's something. And it's like, too, like even if you, and when you have a team that help you, like I love that, because there's so much, like there are things that are not my strong suits, and it's like, bring your talents into this, please, because you can do so much better than and it's just amazing, because I don't know everything and I'm not the best at everything. And so the teamwork makes the dream work is what I've always said and heard. And so I think that's perfect. So, and the third one, it stuck out to me too, because you said building assets. So, and you said to be able to either give to your family or investors. Is that the business itself, or are you referring to other types of assets as well?
It's a business itself.
Okay.
However, it can be what you've been able to accomplish as a result of that business through your profit margin. Typically, our people are on the whole, they keep whatever they want relative to their pay and such. But once they see that scale potential, they're like, oh man, I can't get money in here fast enough. And then they see it grow and grow.
Yeah.
And then it's out of that as you hit whatever that scale level is, whatever you want that to be, and where you get those profits and what you're acquiring through that. So it can be the whole net effect of what your business has accomplished for you.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. I think there's the sky's the limit. Like once you get that kind of rolling, those first 2 pillars, the cash flow and the systems, then it's just where you want to go with it, like what you want to do.
Yes.
And that's really neat and exciting. Same with like me and my business. And I've like looked into the e-commerce stuff a little bit previously. And so I think that's awesome. And I had a question and now I'm trying to remember what it was. That always happens. But those are good. These are good pillars. In anything really. I know, me too. It's got to come back.
No, and you're right about the 3 pillars. Others have said that. Oh, and that's good for every business.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, that could be pillars for anything. Just having that cash flow coming in, the systems, and then the assets that you have to give over. But yeah, I don't know if that question is going to come back to me. So we'll just.
Sometimes if you jump up and down, it'll come back.
Yeah, I know. We're live right now, so I don't want to do that. No, that's awesome. Doggone. Well, I'm human, so we know I'm not a robot. So,
do you have any idea what category or?
No, that's the thing. That's all right. It'll come back to me, I'm sure. But with that, it's just like, this is so awesome. Guys, if you're watching this right now live, because I'm going to edit out the real show, but like, this is like, if you're looking to do something extra, like look into this, like if you're trying to start anything. And that's what it was. How much time do you need starting out to start doing this arbitrage stuff?
Yeah.
Boom.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're like, it dropped out of my cerebrum. My car.
Yeah. Right.
What we say is 12 to 15 hours. And I have a specific case study to give testament to that. Radia is her name, and she's a physical therapist, and she also runs the department. So she's a supervisor and a practitioner as well.
Yeah.
And so she does it in her evenings and on the weekend. And she's at a pace that she'll be able, she started in July, I believe it was. It's a 3-month, the 90-day peak performance. She anticipates she'll be able to retire her husband next year.
Wow.
At the pace she's going. So for someone to accomplish that within a year's time, and here right now we're in Q4. And by the way, Amazon and all of e-commerce, because of COVID, took 10 years of what we call buying habits or preferences, shrunk down to within a 3-month period to shift people into online shopping, online buying. Prime members grew by 28%.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because of, back in the shutdown.
Yep.
And then you have it swinging back again. And what does that mean for Amazon sellers? More growth. It's just, and we've been teaching this method for 7 years, because the first thing I thought was, but what about saturation? Because I'm a digital marketer.
Okay, yeah.
And non-issue, especially now. In fact, we have a gal, most of our members now are doing online arbitrage, but one gal is still doing local. She cannot keep up with it fast enough with 3 stores in her local area. Just 3 stores are supporting her. She's doing about $800, $900 a day in sales for her. And our people get 30 to 50% commission. So she's doing really well. She cannot keep up with the volume, and she's got to help her now.
And you're saying the 30 to 50% of the profit goes to her team, or the people that you have helping her?
In her case, I believe she now has a full-time someone with shipping, because she's in overcapacity for what she's able to source. She cannot keep up with it fast enough for the demand that Amazon has. I call it feeding the beast. Yeah. That's what we're doing. That'll be your biggest problem, is feeding that beast. It's a very ravenous beast, and every 60% of the people listening have a Prime account. That's for American households. It's 2/3 of U.S. households are Prime buyers. So our household here, we have 3. So it averages to that. But all to say, so 12 to 15, and then some folks, then they shift into, if they're trying to quit a job, and all they do is match that. Oh, time to throw out the job. Now they can go full time with their Amazon business. Wow.
That's something. And it just gets less technically as you build that team too, because you delegate some of the tasks. And so so what if you run out of, like, do you have a quantity of products on there that can only be bought? Like, or so if you reach it, so say you had 5 toothpastes and they all get bought and someone wants another one, they can't find yours because it's gone, or how does that work?
Yeah, if your inventory is depleted, and then it depends on if there's been more sellers in there to provide that. Now, in the arbitrage model, you do not create the listings. You know how you put in a search. Now, you're not writing those. Okay. You're leveraging off of an existing listing that has proven sales volume And
Okay.
all you're doing is you're restocking those shelves because the products are moving so fast. And again, that's all based on data.
So if you ran out of that product, it's not going to necessarily hurt you or hurt metrics of any sort. You just don't get paid for it.
Yeah, I mean, it just
Okay.
means you ran out of products, just like
Gotcha.
any store would
Mhm.
run out of products.
They would just find it somewhere else.
Yeah, they'll find it somewhere else. And so it's a matter of you win the game by continually sourcing. You have to keep replenishing your inventory. If you want it to be a regular pay,
yes,
then you have to be regular with getting products into Amazon.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that's just going around to stores in your area or in wherever your people are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can do it all online via websites. So you could source from Walmart. This is when you can have VAs do it for you. Yeah. Is when it's all done online.
So if you bought it online from one of the stores, could you technically put in the shipping address to the warehouse instead of your place? It has to come to you first.
Or to a prep center that is designed for Amazon sellers. And the reason is, so Walmart isn't going to package their products.
That's true. It's in Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, and with your Amazon seller ID, they're not set up to do that. Now, I've had wholesalers who would do that for me where they said, oh, yeah, and we can ship it directly to Amazon for wholesale, but not retail arbitrage. So you have to prep your packages how Amazon wants to receive them in their warehouse.
Okay. So do you have to buy Amazon boxes?
No, you can ship them in any box. Yeah, they ship out with their,
Amazon. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So that makes sense. And so you could literally just buy a bunch of things on like Sunday and have them ship each week and then send them off to the warehouse or the fulfillment or the prep center.
Yes.
But you did say you can ship them to a prep center and not your home. Okay.
Exactly. From an online store, you can just in fact, you can get to a place where your VAs are doing the ordering for you.
Yep.
Everything is built upon trust level after trust level after trust, where you go, okay, I trust these two guys. I'm going to have a credit card limit, but now they're going to start placing the orders. So one of my folks I just interviewed, he got to that level of trust. Yeah. He's had his VAs cranking it out, and now he doesn't place the orders. It's not dependent on him to show up for that. He checks on things, as would any savvy business owners. You check on it and, that kind of a thing. So, but yes, it can be hands off, that it just goes straight to the prep center.
Wow. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. Well, this has been a really good episode. I've enjoyed learning from you, and I'm sure the people listening are learning from you as well and enjoying this topic because it's growing. Like you said, don't have to worry about saturation. It's just continued growth there. So, and I appreciate you being on today. Thank you so much for sharing this. Before we say bye, though, I asked my guests one question, and the fifth trait of pencil leadership is that a pencil is created uniquely and with a purpose, and that's to leave a mark on whatever surface that it's guided to write on. So with that being said, after everything is said and done for you here on Earth, what do you hope the mark you've left is?
My real pride and joy, because I have evolved to the business where I'm at. I homeschooled my sons for 3 years. Oh, wow. 12 years. 12 years. 3 sons, 12 years.
Wow.
And I taught them business, and we had a real estate investment business. We did an auto glass business. So I was always teaching them business, and it's my family that helped get me here, but I also nurtured my family. It was all symbiotic, so to speak. So my pride and joy is strengthening the family economy so they are not reliant on, a culture that is developed for dependency. Yeah. I want to help create a strong, independent family economy for people, and the strength of these entrepreneurs. My one gentleman who I interviewed, he and his wife had a business teaching special needs. They flew all over the world with these specialty techniques. Now he's got this team of 5, and he built it. That's awesome. And we helped him. And so he's gone up in stature. He could go and create another business now from what he's learned. So I want to help people help them become better than what they already were from when they came into my community. So I launch entrepreneurs in the space, and I feel that's my finest contribution to the culture, society, not people dependent. That's not the message I'm preaching. I preach the message of empowerment. And we have families where their kids are 6 years old and they're helping mom.
That's awesome.
And a
That's
9-year-old learns how to run the whole Amazon store. That's what we're doing.
That's awesome. I love it. I love that mission. I love that impact that you're having. And just from what I learned today, like I see you're doing it. So that's a really cool thing. So thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for being on here. Where can people best connect with you, find out more about what you offer and what you're doing? Would love to be able to share that with people.
Well, e-commerce business school is our website. As far as myself, you can message me through LinkedIn.
Perfect.
Or Facebook. It's packed, so I have whole thing to let people in all that. So probably LinkedIn is better. I don't know that they have a limit. So, anyways, yeah, that should do. And then our YouTube channel for e-commerce business school as well.
Awesome. Well, guys, that'll all be in the show notes, the link there to where to connect with Ann. So definitely do that and start learning and jumping in there. And again, thank you so much for being on the show.
You're welcome.
Awesome. And guys, if you like this show, if you got something out of it, which I'm sure you did, share this with somebody that could find value in it as well. Leave a comment too. We'll come back and check those. And then remember to go subscribe and review the show if you have not already. Pencil Leadership on all platforms. It just helps us get these messages, get this education, get this inspiration out there to more people. We can't do it without you. So again, thank you. And until next time, let's go out and be pencil leaders.